I heard you have an update,
I do.
and it has to do
Um,
with your yapper.
it does have to do with my yapper. I found out, Maggie, after all these years, that my jaw is double jointed. Can you believe
Incredible.
that?
I can. I can
Just like
believe that.
my arms and my elbows, so is my jaw.
Wait, open your mouth right now.
Well, when I do it, I have to work it
Oh.
because it overextends. So
Ah!
you watch the way I did that.
Oh my gosh.
And everybody's listening that's
Um,
going to go pop on YouTube. You know, I can also stick my hand in my mouth.
well, I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm not going to do that right
These
now.
are all parts of your dating profile that I didn't need to know, Amanda. But I'm glad you found out a medical
Nah, I don't need
diagnosis.
one. I don't need one of those. Um, yeah, so I have another medical diagnosis now. So,
Well, we showed your elbows earlier in the
right,
year,
that's true. So,
um, and now it's your mouth. Wow, incredible
thank you,
dexterity,
thank you.
hypermobile.
To quote Phoebe from Friends, I'm very bendy.
You are very bendy.
I'm very bendy. So maybe it's part of the being a
Someone called
witch.
it probably is bendy because you can bend the universe and
Bend the
your
reality.
arms. I couldn't even touch my toes until I was in my 20s, so
Oh,
I'm
okay,
working on my witchcraft
okay,
slowly but surely. You know,
um, okay.
speaking of bending, I'd love to twist and turn through the last 4 episodes of The West Wing with you.
I would love that. I'm ready. Are you gonna clap?
I will.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I am quickly pulling up my notes because I have a lot of notes. Hold,
Yeah, I
please.
was trying not to take I was like, gosh, I could just write down everything that's happening in these 4 episodes. I was like, there's so much happening and so much of it is so good, and I'm trying to just like let it sit and then think what stayed with me from the episode.
Yeah, I
But
am curious
dang,
because this is another set of like four where da 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 dang. Are you kidding me? Dang. You know?
da dang, bitty 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 bump the boogie da bump bump the booty.
Yeah, I don't think we do that song anymore. Were you doing Kid Rock?
Oh, is that Kid Rock?
Yeah, Ball with the Ball.
That was Limp Bizkit, but it is Kid Rock.
Yeah, I think that's
Just cut it out.
okay.
Edit
I'll
it
cut it
out.
out. We'll cut it
Who
out.
even? That's so annoying. Things getting ruined by people. You know, that's like so annoying.
I
That's
know,
so
right?
annoying that people have to
It's
like go and ruin things that I enjoy in a moment. I'm not like listening to that song, but sometimes I just want to enjoy making a
right,
little rant.
right.
I hate when people do stupid stuff and then ruin it. R.
Well,
Kelly remixed to Ignition. What a good
oh
song that
gosh,
was.
it was. Now we had to remix him out of our lives.
I was watching Space Jam with my kids, the original. I believe I can fly. And then I was like, this is such a great song. And then I was like, wait a second, I can't even enjoy this song
I
anymore.
know. I know. How do you feel about the fact that we can now enjoy Michael Jackson again?
Can we though?
I feel
Can
like
we?
it's a whole nother podcast because I'm seeing it a lot lately.
He's all over.
He's all over because people are like, "Well, he's cleared. I don't want to be starting something with anybody now. Let's just get out there, you know?"
I know.
Who are you to not look at the man in the mirror and say, "Hey, we've got to make a change."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know who I can listen to.
I
So
know.
I'm just going to put on my peaky
Kids,
blinders
your peaky blinders.
and I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just read a brief that I'm sure has nothing, no problems with it.
No, I bet you that your brief will not be canceled.
Okay. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about LGBT. Let's talk about all the problems that can happen in a presidency. Let's talk about root canals. Let's talk about Supreme Court nominees making headlines before confirmation. Let's talk about Sam. Let's talk about West Wing. That's it.
Dang.
That's not a problematic song.
It's not a problematic song, but I'll tell you what's also not problematic is how you teed that up. You walked that all the way down. You knew this was coming. You knew you had an RAP sitting there behind the scenes, ready to go. Pulled back that curtain, and there we go. Dropping
Sometimes
beats.
things work out better than I could plan.
That's true.
You know, I honestly didn't even when I bod with the bod, which I do not want to do. I didn't even know I was setting myself up for that later. That was just the universe working for me.
Yeah.
Double jointed jaw,
Double jointed
bending
jaw.
my world,
Just like a witch.
just like a witch bitch.
So let me
Anyways.
say what season this is and what episode it is, so we can. I'll have to scroll ahead and slice this into the edit like I always do. This is season 1, episodes. Well, fuck. What episodes are they?
13 to 16?
Yep. This is season 1, episodes 13 through 16 of The West Wing. Hold for applause.
Boom. Woo! That was amazing.
Oh, West Wing! Maggie, another 4 episodes. They really pack a punch.
They do. And you were right. And I know that this is just the beginning, but you were right that seeds were being planted in the first 4 episodes that have now woven their way all the way through episode 16. And we are just over the halfway mark of this season.
Woven
I had
in.
no idea what
What
was
a treat.
coming.
I know. I know you didn't. There's going to be a lot of times where you're not going to know what's coming in this show. And then it'll be here and you'll be like, oh, didn't see that coming.
It's true. It's also interesting because the show is from 1999, how prevalent gay rights are in the show.
Yeah.
Because I think it just seems so like, of course, in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously, there's issues that are trying to be taken back in the current administration. But in a lot of ways, you think, like, of course, gay people can serve in the military, adopt children, get married, like all of these things. And that was such a huge through line of these whole 4 episodes. And I was like,
Absolutely.
gosh, yeah, this is really like a historical fiction piece.
Yeah.
And it plays it in a way that, like, looking back, even though I was young, I was like, oh yeah, this is like middle school me feeling this. Like, this is like what the discussions were around, you know?
Yep.
So how
pretty-
things can change.
Pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible.
Pretty
That was my
incredible.
biggest
Your biggest takeaway.
takeaway.
Well, why don't you hit us with some of the storylines that really stood out to you? And I have a lot of tidbits, some little tasty teases to give you about these episodes as well. And I'll give you, whatever hot takes I have, or lukewarm. We'll see, though. I don't know. It's politics. I'm usually pretty hot.
Okay, one of the first notes I have was how during this press conference that ends up being run not by CJ, but it ends up being run by our man Josh Lyman, because CJ has a root canal, which she is not able to go in front of the press. But their whole strategy with this is like they have a lot of bad stories and they're just going to flood it. They're just going to dump them all on the Friday news cycle because there's only so much column space, which I was like, this feels like a strategy that is picked right from the show and is currently being used all the time, right? Like I am overwhelmed with news constantly.
Yes.
But the things that they want to talk about, it's like, okay, we have abstinence only education. There's the 10 Commandments in Alabama wanting to be law. There's a Navy helicopter that went to play 18 holes of golf. There's a White House leak. Like there's a lot of things going on and they just need to like flood the presses. Of
Yes.
course, this goes horribly wrong because Josh Lyman thinks he can handle it because he's a Harvard educated lawyer, right? And he goes up in front of the press and he's snarky in a way that is not the way CJ handles it. He has not the finesse of our gal CJ.
No, he's a regular Harvey Specter up there, completely flubbing.
Which I don't think I've ever seen Harvey Specter flub this bad. This was like
No.
Mike Ross in court day one.
Yes.
Like that's this flub. It was a big flub.
100%. 100%.
Because he makes this joke. It's like, oh yeah, the president has a secret plan for inflation, which is then the headline. the headline that everyone's talking about. Favorite part of this is the president, Jed Bartlett, says, okay, wait, so you invented that I have a secret plan for inflation and now you don't even support that secret plan? Because Josh is like, of course that's a horrible idea. It was like, oh my gosh, he just cannot even see. Like no one, like he just messed this up so bad. Also very relatable.
Yeah, I think for all of us, right? I do have a tidbit here about this already, if that's okay.
Oh,
So
yes, please.
the secret plan to fight inflation actually entered political dictionaries. Like it's now used as a journalistic shorthand anytime a press secretary or a spokesperson promises something that doesn't exist. So that made its way from Sorkin's, pen to basically the political zeitgeist and jargon that is used today.
I love that.
Right? Isn't that
That's
great?
so
It's
good.
also incredible that, we talk about the impact that the world and like our current events and everything that's happening can have on television and film. But it's interesting to think about the impact that television and film can have on the world. That
Yeah.
this little like throwaway line and this idea from one episode is now something that is referred to all of the time. Like journalists who were not even watching TV at this time have been trained and know that phrase.
It's like jumping the shark, right? It's like a
Yeah.
phrase that people use and they just kind of like, oh, the secret plan for inflation. But
Yeah. Do you know what Jump the Shark is from?
yes, it's from Happy Days.
It is. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't know that because there weren't a lot of sharks in the show.
Right. In fact, it takes place in what, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a ton of sharks there.
Not a ton of sharks there. Not
Although
known
I've
for
been
their
learning a
sharks.
lot about sharks. We have a couple books about sharks we've been reading. They're all
Okay.
about like sharks fighting each other and like who will win. And they're very graphic.
The boys are into that?
Love them. Yeah. Oh, they're like, I'm voting tiger shark. Tiger shark will eat almost anything. Like, okay, you're right. We've read this book 7 times. I guess you're right. The tiger shark wins.
Yeah.
Anyways,
sorry, go back.
any
wanted to
whoosy
give you that-
boosies.
Give you that little tidbit,
That's a great tidbit. Thank you for that. Another funny thing was like this whole idea of the sex ed and how they do this. Like they want to have abstinence only sex education, which is also a wild concept to me because they have this whole study that they reference in the show, which I believe was real information and data that was floating around when I was growing up, right? But it's about like you can't just have abstinence only education because it doesn't teach people to have safe sex. It just teaches them to like not have good, like just it doesn't change the rate of teens
No.
having sex.
No. Oh, that was such
But
a hot thing. I mean, just abstinence. Nobody have sex ever.
Is that what you had?
Abstinence?
No. No, Amanda, you have a double jointed jaw, okay? No. Did you have abstinence only sex ed?
Yeah, that's all we had.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all not?
We didn't. No, we didn't. They were like
was-
passing stuff around. We had
I
this
don't
guy
ever
come in with a
remember that.
PowerPoint on STDs and then
I
passed
mean, they
around
might
like,
have
all
talked
different
about it. I mean, if
protections.
anybody's listening that went to school with me, this is a real test to see which one of my friends from grade school are listening. I don't recall them doing a slideshow on STDs or passing out condoms or anything like that. I think I would have remembered that. That would have been kind of seared in my brain. So
Yeah. I feel like it's real seared in mine. You know? Like real, like, ugh.
it was abstinence, and then this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs, like the eggs frying on the pan. Any questions? So that was it. Dare was so hot to keep the kids off drugs. It's like y'all don't do anything. Seriously,
Yeah.
kids, don't do anything.
Don't do
it
anything
wasn't-
fun.
And then also, yeah, don't anything fun, but also like, but if you're gonna do it, we're not gonna tell you how to do it safely.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not really a safe way to take drugs. I mean, they are illegal.
Not all of them.
Well, I think the ones that we were dealing with. Also, I live in Texas, so
No, that's
everything is illegal except for a gun.
No, that's fair. That is a fair. Have I told the story on this podcast about how I was walking home from middle school once and these high schoolers jumped out from behind and they jumped out from behind the pine trees and said, "Hey, do you want a cigarette?" And I was like, "Oh no, I learned about this." And I said, "No," and ran through the woods.
Right. The most alarming part of that story, the second time through, is that you were walking alone in the woods.
Yeah, but it was like not like the woods. But I was scared that they were going to chase me and make me smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Except for they were just pranking me.
They were just pranking you. They were just joshing.
Speaking of pranks,
Yep.
okay, so we have this White House leak, and they think it's the leak about, this guy who's going golfing.
Yeah, and we're not
Not.
talking about a water leak.
No, this is not
Okay.
a water leak. No.
Okay.
This is a leak, like leaking information to the press.
Okay.
Turns out this gal who's working for the VP leaked Leo's personnel file that had his information about his rehab to the press. This girl, Karen Larson, is also Paris from Gilmore Girls. Did you watch
Right.
Gilmore Girls?
Yes.
Okay, feels like a show you would love. Okay, I cannot believe this. Sam calls her into the office, confronts her, fires her on the spot. Leo then later calls her in. She's got her box from her desk. And he calls her in and he's like, just put the box down, and asks if she has any questions about it. Turns out her dad was an alcoholic. She doesn't even understand what alcoholism is and how Leo couldn't just have one drink. He would have to have 10, which was also a little wild to me that she doesn't understand the concept of alcoholism, but this is 1999. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel like people knew that that's what alcoholism was like on a broader scale back then.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always been like, oh, you can't control your alcohol, you're an alcoholic, and not understanding what's actually happening in the body. Same thing with obesity, people not understanding, why can't you just eat,
One.
350 calories at lunch? I don't understand why you have to eat more than one. That doesn't make sense. So,
Right.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me that she doesn't know.
I guess it was a little surprising to me.
I
'cause
don't think
feel
some
like
people still don't know.
I guess. A lot of the things that were in this were just like, oh wow, this has become such a different culture since then. I feel like, or so much more information. But
Right.
maybe this was just at the time, really helping people understand certain issues. Even more wild than Karen not understanding what alcoholism was that Leo did not fire her. He gives her a second chance.
I know. What a good dude.
Would you?
I think it says a lot about his character and his leadership. Because
But do you think
she
that's a
did
good
what she
idea?
thought was, no, probably not. But I can tell you right now, that girl's going to work real hard and she's not going to do that again.
You don't think so?
And she's going to have mad respect. That's my opinion as somebody who hasn't seen it. I've seen it. I can't tell you whether or not she does it again or not.
I think she's going to do really well too. I think obviously Leo's going to make the right call 99% of the time, right?
Yeah.
I just thought that was absolutely wild. Oh, also just back to sex. I thought it was so funny that it's there's no sex till marriage, but there's also no sex ed until after the midterm elections. The president refuses to even acknowledge this report until after the midterms.
I know.
That's how hot button this is. No one, and he's going through the report and he's can't say that, can't say that,
Can't say
cannot,
that.
will not say this. And it's what is he not going to say? Body parts?
I guess.
Just a
Because
lot
it's
of
not
big
it's not
words.
like there's we don't have a Fabio novel in there. It's not, it's got to just be medical, clinical terms.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you think are some of the words he won't say?
I don't know. What do you think, Maggie? We had
Wow, this is my
abstinence training,
deficit.
so we didn't learn anything. I got to bounce it back to you up in that liberal state of New York where they were just slinging rubbers in class.
They were just clitoris.
Oh my gosh. I got to edit this out now.
You do not. You do not need to edit that out. That's a word that he might not have wanted to say.
Okay.
Anyways, 2026.
You'll say
Okay.
that, but you won't ball with the ball.
I did Ball with the Ball, and they ruined it for me, but nothing has ruined
They
the
did.
clitoris for me yet. Other people that I
Okay.
recognized in,
Uh-huh.
in these 4 episodes. Okay, Joey Lucas, played by the deaf actress during the time period.
You are breaking up.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Am I still?
You better. Marley Matlin? Oh, it's
Marlon
breaking up.
says I'm not connected. I'm going to reconnect. It's a thunderstorm.
It just sounds
Hear
like
me?
farts.
No, that's not far. Me?
Barely. It just is like a lot of echoing and then farts, and your face is frozen and blurry.
No, it's not far. It's not thunder. It's echoey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been left again here alone, live on YouTube, for those of you who are watching live. Maggie works out of an annex, if you will. That's what we would call it. They call it a barn dominium. I call it the annex. Serves as a guest house, podcast studio, a playroom. Sometimes the internet doesn't work up there. Sometimes there's a storm. So when you have a storm and the internet isn't working, then she has to drop like this. She's probably going to, in a few seconds, text me. So I'm going to turn my phone off of Do Not Disturb because she's definitely dealing with some stuff right now. Like, she can't even text me because otherwise she'd be texting me. She's probably joining us back again, and this would be a good time to welcome her back. Maggie, welcome back to the show. We're so glad to have you here. Right now, we just see your screen, and that's it. So I'm going to keep talking. You might be able to hear me. You haven't even texted me, so I don't know if you can hear me or not. But right now, we just see your screen, and now I hear a little bit of a bleep of you talking.
No, wait, is it a bleep?
Hello?
Oh,
Maggie, are you stuck in the storm?
I'm in. Hello?
Maggie, are you safe, or has the storm come through the house?
Are you? Oh my gosh.
Maggie? Yeah. So what's happening with you, Matt? That's what it sounds like. And then I can't see you. I just see an M for Maggie, though, because I know the alphabet. I'm going to stick here for a couple of seconds, see maybe if you appear again. I don't know if it would be helpful for you to take your computer directly out into the rain and just see if you came to us live from a Pennsylvania thunderstorm. So, oh, that's a text from Maggie, you guys. She says, I'm here. And she says, I'm going to close out. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if closing out means that she's closing out for good. And this is the end of the podcast, and there is no more Only Show fans. I can assure you that if that is the case, and I hope that it isn't, I will continue to recap this show on my own. I'll just sit here and look at the screen. I might actually bring a guest on every week. We'll see what happens, but we are going to continue to cover the West Wing, regardless if Maggie says that she is closing out. What I do know about my sister-in-law is that she's not one to really give up. She's pretty persistent. So I think closing out means she's closing out of her browser. She might be shutting down the computer. She might be doing a little restart, maybe a hard restart. If you guys haven't heard that, whenever you've got to reset some technology, you just turn it off and you turn it back on. And sometimes we have to do that in life. So that might be what Maggie's doing right now. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I do not think that she is closing out for good. I do think that she is still in it to win it with this podcast. And let's hope that, because I think what's interesting about Maggie is she brings such a unique perspective to the podcast. And she is hilarious. I think we can all agree. Everybody that's listening, everybody that's going to listen later, everybody who finds us in 10 years, you're all going to agree. Maggie Wreath Austin is hilarious. Second of all, she pays really good attention and like close attention in these shows. I've seen these shows like multiple times and sometimes still forget things, she remembers everything and it keeps it straight. Now, I will say sometimes old lady over here falls asleep sitting up watching these shows. So I can't watch them too late because I will fall asleep. Now, Maggie is saying, ladies and gentlemen, just an update here. She is saying, fucking A, won't let me in again. And so that means the good news is she has not closed out for good. She is still part of the podcast. I'm still vamping. I'm gonna let her know that I'm still vamping right now. I'm still vamping to no one. And I see her. Maggie, you're back on the screen. And I've been talking continuously nonstop since you left. I did update the listeners because the text message said, Maggie, I'm going to close out. And there was definitely a debate, at least within my head. Did that mean you were giving up on the podcast and closing out generally? Or were you just closing your computer, shutting down Riverside, maybe doing a hard restart? There's definitely a debate. And she says, I'm trying to get back in to stop the live, but it also won't let me. And I'm going to tell her no need because this is good content. No need. This is great content. They love it. Looks like she's gone, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to continue to vamp until she says, you know what? King's X, we're calling it. Sometimes you have to make that call. And we've had to do that before, both on my end, both on her end. And we might have to make that call if there's a storm coming through. Let's just make sure she's safe. You guys, let's make sure she's safe inside the annex. And she says, can we pick up later this week? And I said, sure, the listeners are going to be relieved you haven't quit the show permanently. So I'm still on vamping right now. On vamping. By the way, yeah. All right. Thunder is really bad. Also, there's a company installing fiber optic internet in our neighborhood. Gosh, I sure hope that they're not installing fiber optic internet while that storm's going on. That sounds terribly unsafe. She might need to invite them into the annex, the Austin annex, if you will. So I guess now that we are 27 minutes in, she said, good, I should continue to vamp. Exercise that jaw. If you're just now joining in and wondering why I'm on screen by myself, I did announce to the listeners today I've been diagnosed with hypermobility, which is in fact a double jointed jaw. Just means I'm double jointed in lots of places. You guys have seen it if you go back and visit some episodes back in the fall of 2025. But turns out my jaw is double jointed, so I'm getting a good exercise. But with that, we've hit right at 28 minutes, which is the day of my birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and close out, and we will pick back up in a few more days, and you can see the rest of us. So thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. And if you're wondering what to say in this review, you can say, gosh, I'd never heard Amanda do a podcast solo. YOLO!